No, we probably actually want to beeline for that furnace kind of quick. How much wood do I have? Not much. Because that'll get gold and coal spawning. Last time I waited. Redout wasn't fun. Recommend Wreckfest if I want something fun. Maybe. The problem is I'm not a big fan of, like, realistic games. And so, like, Redout looked fun because it was wild and interesting and stuff like that. Let's see. Mario Kart is a bad racing game since it punishes you for being first. Yeah, that's why I like Sonic Racing Transformed so much more. It was rare that you were ever punished for being first. Almost always it was more of a... Okay, so we're gonna do something slightly different on this one. I'm actually... I go for the fairies, but let's actually go for economy first. Because if I have a second island, maybe that'll get me some new resources. It gets me cotton at the very least, and a couple extra berry bushes. And it'll be extremely apparent. Hey, foraging obelisk as well. Well, that'll be helpful. Okay, of course, now I don't have any food. I don't really want to eat my berries. If I can avoid it. But yeah, hopefully this will work. I am hungry. Give me fish. Give me fish. Fish! Alright, there we go. Alright, so this might actually work out well in my favor. And I can put some resources up the middle on this. Easily. But yeah, that was a lucky spawn. Compared to some of the previous ones, the last run we just had like a big empty spot and it sucked. Because there were like... There were the little platforms as well. And I didn't like them. This time around, we've got another big open spot and cotton spawning. So that means we can actually get cloth this time around. And hopefully the resources spawn. Let's see, have they slowed the resource spawn on this version? I don't... They might have slowed it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think they've slowed it down. I think it's mainly just that last one bugged out. And so I'm hoping this version will be less buggy. I'm just gonna hang out here waiting for some food. I do have 3 berries I could eat, but I really want to save them. I'm hoping the fish kind of just handles this, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's a glitch between betas, yeah. That's what I think. That's what I think it's going to be. I don't think this will be so bad. I'll just wait. I was really hoping that, that shrine... Or that obelisk would actually increase spawns as well. It'd be nice if it did. It's like slightly more foraging things to work with. Because, yeah, we are getting resources here, and it looks like they just kind of come back independently on whether or not I'm harvesting them. There we go. Yeah, cooking those will help. Getting more of them will also help. Okay, and I gotta work on... Well, I gotta prioritize foraging, but there's not a whole lot of foraging to be done. A lot of wood, though. We do have slimes. They're not worth that much, though, unfortunately. How much wood do I have? I got a little... I don't want to put a forge down. Okay, I guess the slimes are worth like 60 XP. Because yeah, I don't want to put the forge and the anvil and whatnot, or forge furnace. I don't want to put those down until I have like a reasonable spot to do so. Because I prefer to have them off the actual islands to preserve my resource spawns. Because otherwise everything ends up just getting clogged. And it's not as great of a feeling. We will be able to get the better pickaxe pretty quick though. Still seems slightly slower than in the past. Yeah. This island is very, very sluggish. Maybe it's because, since all islands can be unlocked now, there's kind of the expectation that, you know, you don't need as many resources. So, do we go industry or do we go foraging? Let's go foraging, because getting wheat and beets means more food. Really looking forward to this game when it comes out. It's basically a Skinner box, but it's a really appealing Skinner box. Yep. There are some really good Skinner boxes, and there's some really bad Skinner boxes. I've heard some pretty iffy things about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm a little bit disappointed about that, because it was actually one of the first Assassin's Creed games I've ever been interested in. And, you know, hearing about all of the, like, cash shop stuff to skip the grind, it's just like, I don't want that. Would you ever play a game like this where it's just like, pay an extra $5 and not have to wait for all these resources to spawn? You just immediately get the best pickaxe. Would you do that? No. Just make your game, make it so that that grind doesn't feel horrid and out of place. So I don't think I'm going to be playing Odyssey. It might even be a good game. I might even pick it up on sale at some point and play it. But as it stands, it's just like, I got too many other games to play that respect my time. Or games that don't respect my time, but they respect themselves to at least be consistent with it. And like, there's a billion ways around it too, because this game has the mining rods that you can get just immediately, or like some of the ridiculous, some of the really ridiculous, you know, the pickaxe that makes everything explode, or the draught of luck that just doubles all the items you get. Like, you wouldn't see that in like a lot of these grindy open world AAA, you know, money muncher games. It's a little offensive to me that, you know, I paid $60 for God of War 2018, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. It was one of the best games that I've ever played. And, you know, then to see, you know, these other studios charge double for an inferior product, it's kind of upsetting. Yeah, so I can just eat the beets. Alternate food source. Okay, now we'll be able to start heading up towards amulets next. Assuming resources spawn. If they don't spawn, I'm just shelving this until another day. Oh, nope, it's still coming. Hopefully Red Dead Redemption won't have horrific microtransactions. I don't know. I don't know about that, because the problem is, in Red Dead Redemption, that's 2K or Gearbox, or it's 2K. Same people that made Grand Theft Auto, if I'm not mistaken. Like, have any of you guys seen Grand Theft Auto Online? There's gonna be straight up a horse in Red Dead Redemption 2's online feature that's gonna take like hundreds of hours to grind for, or like a shark card and a half. We've seen that CD Projekt Red is getting sued. Yeah, I saw that. It was funny. Normally I'm like, oh, you know, the poor devs, but in this case it's kind of one of those where they probably have known that that this lawsuit's been coming for ages. I don't know how many of you guys follow CD Projekt Red. But effectively, the guy that created the Witcher series sold them the license carte blanche for like $10,000, and he was like, you know, you're not going to make any money. I might as well just get 10,000 of your dollars and be satisfied that I came out on top. And then, the first Witcher did all right. It didn't do great, but it did enough that it made CD Projekt Red enough money that they could make Witcher 2, which did even better. And was even better. Because I think the original Witcher game was straight up just based on built on the Neverwinter Nights engine, which, like, was a good engine at the time, but god, it looks so bad now. And, you know, Witcher 2, I think, was on their own engine or something like that, or whatever it was definitively better. I didn't get very far into it. I'm more of a fan of the existence of the Witcher games than the actual Witcher games themselves. A lot of that just has to do with the fact that, I don't know, there's other stuff to play that are shorter generally. But yeah, so the author was just like, yeah, you know, you're not going to make a whole lot of money off of this, so I'm just going to take $10,000 and laugh as you fail, pretty much. And pretty much washed his hands of the Witcher series, video game series, immediately, saying, you know, it's not going to do well. He was wrong. He was very wrong. And I think he regrets that. Too bad. Because effectively, he's signed the contract. Like, it's his own dang fault that he's not getting the cut he wants. And like, I know that's kind of a callous thing to say to a developer, to somebody that owns the right to anything. But like, this same thing happened with Star Wars. Back in the day when Star Wars came out, there's a bunch of controversies with it, but most people didn't think Star Wars was going to do very well. You know, a couple of people got, you know, went for percentage cuts, and then everybody else went for a flat fee. So the actor for Obi-Wan Kenobi was like, this is a stupid movie, I hate it, but give me a cut of it. And I think in the end, he ended up getting paid like a stupid amount of money compared to everybody else. And so, like, he managed to make a crazy amount of money because he actually was like, yeah, you know, I'm not just going to go for the flat fee. And it worked great for him. Not so great for everybody else. I mean, whatever, that they learned the industry. If I remember right, James Earl Jones did the voice acting for Darth Vader for like $5,000-$10,000. It was not much. I don't know if he regrets that or not. Probably not. I bet they all got like much better contracts for the next movie. All has to do with the weird clause in Polish law allowing him to sue again. I still don't think it's going to work out that well, because at this point I'm fairly certain CD Projekt Red has better lawyers than he does. Alec Guinness didn't need the money, so you could take the percentage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the full story on some of those things, but I know Mark Hamill was like living on somebody's couch, and I know Harrison Ford. I think Harrison Ford had already been in Indiana Jones. I think at that point, if not, it came soon after. But he had just straight up been like a handyman for Lucas, and then Lucas was like, "You'd make a great actor in my movies." And he's just like, "Okay." That was it. That was it. I want that coal to show up so I don't have to gather it myself. I just find it so weird to equate Luke Skywalker and the Joker to the same person. Honestly, I love it. I'm sometimes curious which role Mark Hamill liked more. Because he definitely did Joker for a lot longer. And in a lot of stuff, too. Because he was in the animated series, he was in the games. He's reprised his role several times. I don't know, I really like Mark Hamill's as the Joker. And I know everybody's like, Heath Ledger, or like, what what's his face? The original Joker from the movies. But like Mark Hamill did such a perfect Joker. It's always felt weird otherwise. Weird and wrong. And just not as good. And like you guys probably might even know this based on some of like the things I've done voice acting wise. Jack Nicholson, there we go. But I actually revere Mark Hamill's voice for the Joker to the point where I'm developing kind of my own version of it so I can use here and there. So I've been using it for Pathfinder as Kelgritz the Mad. And like a number of other things. I think I came up with the voice when I was doing Nefarious, and I was just like, huh, I'm actually pretty close to this. And so I've just been happy to be kind of the knockoff Mark Hamill voice. Is this what I want? Because I could also get Gathering. It's not that helpful. We could also go Fairies. Let's get Fairies. Just in case. Because if I take any damage, it's going to be bad. And they're worth some amount of EXP early on. Let's see. I guess we actually have a whole bunch of food to eat now. Ooh. We might have to go for those vaults earlier than normal, though. This is going to be a tougher setup. Do we have... I guess I could convert some of this wood into coal so we could get started on some of these things. Otherwise, I could get some more fish, but I don't think we need that. Yeah, let's just convert the wood into coal. Because, yeah, we're running a little bit behind because I ended up picking up some extra skills that I don't immediately need right now. Let's see, if you liked Avatar, watch Dragon Prince. Same people. I didn't really like Dragon Prince. I was trying to watch it. It was too juvenile for me. There were, like... I don't know, I always hate that trope of, like, there's an emergency, but let's talk about dumb stuff or do weird dumb jokes. And I'm just like, Avatar always felt like it had the right level of humor, but if it needed to get serious, it would. I think Dragon Prince was a little bit too far in the opposite direction. Yeah, let's just make that coal. We'll need the wood for other stuff, but I need coal right now. I kind of wish you could turn seaweed into coal, now that I'm thinking about it. But then again, I guess you need it for the pigment, so not so much. Dragon Prince needed to up its frame rate. I've heard that from a number of people, too. Shell was complaining about the frame rate. I wasn't paying attention as much, so it didn't bother me. I will admit Dragon Prince looks really, really good. Like, visually, it was really good to look at. I liked Avatar a lot. And it was pretty good 2D animation, but like, Dragon Prince is pretty good 3D. Same thing with Voltron, which is like kind of a mix. But I don't know, I've been pleased with how 3D TV is starting to get, because there's some good stuff and it doesn't seem like it costs that much. Let's see. Yeah, it really does feel like they toned down the resource spawn rate. It broke earlier. Oh yeah, I guess the animation for this thing, maybe it just doesn't loop. Because it ran earlier, but maybe it just didn't loop now. So I guess it might not be an indication of things working or not. Let's just do that. Let's see. So we need 2 more bricks. We'll work on the other stuff. Waiting to see how the live action of Avatar is, now that they've brought back the original producers. I still get the feeling it's not going to be as good. Maybe? I don't know. I have a soft spot for animated stuff. There's some live action stuff that's really good. Like, I really like Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things is a wonderful series. And it's a joy to watch. At the same time, I think I'd actually almost prefer Stranger Things more if it was if it had like a really nice 2D style. But maybe that's because the first time I ever heard of Stranger Things was because of somebody's fan art. And it was this like wonderful poster. It looked really cool. And so I went into Stranger Things thinking it was going to be animated, and I was wrong. And it's not the end of the world, but still. Let's see, did I get a look at Sleepy Hollow? No, I don't think I have. Also, thank you, Aiden Serenity, for gifting a tier 1 sub to Raging Dragon. Thanks so much. But there's going to be a live-action SAO. I do not watch live-action anime for anything. I don't know. It's never gone well for me. It's always been meh. Okay, my inventory is actually filling up. Concerning. Well, we'll get backpacks fairly soon. Actually, I could potentially even go for backpacks right now. Because I could get the sewing station. Well, let's get this first. Am I hearing my neighbor yelling outside again? Yeah, my neighbor's outside yelling again. Dude likes to go out onto his balcony and just kind of shout into his phone. It's very strange. Luckily, my microphones are too good to ever pick it up, but it's kind of one of those where it's just like... You will do that at any hour of the day. Kind of within reason, but it's still like... He is loud. I can hear him through my Audio Technicas. These are no slouch headphones. Like, they block out audio pretty well. If Shell and I are playing like a console game together, it's actually kind of hard to hear her. Because it's not getting looped through my box. Okay, so we need 4 bricks. I wanna move, but I don't know where to move anymore. We were originally gonna do Seattle and kind of like slowly get closer to friends, but the friend group kind of dissolving a little bit. Definitely threw that off a little bit. So now it's just like, well, do we go back to Shell's home state? Do we go to Portland? I kind of still want to go to Portland, but I know Shell wouldn't appreciate that as much. I could go for the vaults. That wouldn't be a bad idea. We're gonna need it, but I'm gonna go sewing first. Because we're going to need that sooner than later. Slimy pickaxe just needs 8 iron ingots. Actually, that's not out of the question with this setup. But yeah, so we're going to move like next month. Because my lease is up this month. And I was toying with the idea of, moving at the end of this month or who knows what. But that's kind of tough. You never, as a YouTuber, you don't want to move out or really do a whole lot of like major moves in the summer or the fall, because you make the most amount of money in the fall and you make the most amount of views in the summer. So like the spring is usually a good idea. It's kind of tough because yeah, my lease ends this month, and so we're probably just going to go month to month, and now it's just kind of the question of, well, where do we move to and when and how? And I'm like, I just don't want to be here anymore. But at least it's going into the fall, so it's not going to be as like toasty. It was straight up like miserable over the summer. At least now it's been nice. Today was pretty bad. It was super humid. But I think the next week is going to be almost like frigid and rainy. I've heard from like a lot of my other friends that it's actually started snowing already, which is wild. Massachusetts is a nice place to go, especially just outside of Boston. Yeah, I already lived there, though. That's actually where my parents live. The problem with Massachusetts is everything is really expensive around there. Like, my brother lives in the area currently, and his rent is twice as much as mine, I think? Well, no, it was. But I guess he lived in Somerville, so that's slightly different. But yeah, I've done Massachusetts. And I didn't hate it there. It was nice. But it was also kind of one of those where it's like... I like to live in different places. Every couple of years, I move to a new location. Just kind of baseline. It's more interesting to kind of explore the world by living in those locations. Okay, we don't have any more coal, but I actually want to get this sewing station down if I can. There we go. Okay, so small backpack is just thread, and I can make a whole bunch of thread. That's good. That'll make my life easier. So yeah, Shell's family lives in Western New York, but there's... Sadly, like, for both, for Boston, for New York, there's not that much of a gaming industry there. There's, like, a little bit, but most games are made, like, kind of in the Vancouver area, or just kind of up and down the West Coast. I know there are smaller studios and whatnot, and I've done that before, but, you know, I'm always a little terrified of, like, YouTube going down the drain, and me having to, like, kind of shift gears back into working in a game dev job, or game review, or who knows what. And a lot easier to do that when you can actually be local for one. So that's always going to be, like, mildly haunting my brain. And who knows? Maybe 3 years from now, everything will have not changed, and I'll still be kind of this, like, middling YouTuber, streamer person, and everything will be okay. I don't know. But the world is scary, and I'm always, like, trying to contingency plan. Because last time I was living on my own, I didn't have a contingency plan. I was working at a small studio, and pretty much got laid off of that, and didn't have a job lined up, and no jobs in the area, and I'm like... that kind of... It's shocking how much, like, losing a job and, like, kind of having to retool your game plan in life can leave you with, like, mild neuroses. And thank you, Aiden Serenity, for gifting a sub to Utorial as well. Thank you so much. What are you talking about? YouTube is shit and it's always been shit. YouTube's actually not half bad. As far as money goes, I make way more from YouTube than I do Twitch. And, I mean, part of it is I'm not, like, a crazy sellout. You know, I play niche little titles that nobody is looking for on Twitch. And I've never been pushing my numbers. I've been stuck somewhere in the 100 to 200 range for, geez, about, like, 2 years now. You're gonna play Factorio with a friend. Good luck on foraging. Hey, no problem. Have fun with Factorio. And yeah, we'll be doing Factorio here tomorrow, I think. More Mastorio. I'll probably just do Mastorio and then, like, Pathfinder Kingmaker. If I'm not going to be doing D&D, I might as well do D&D related games at the very least. But yeah, YouTube does its own algorithm. YouTube is a weird beast. I don't understand it, and it's like if your boss was insane and, like, didn't even know what he wanted, and he's just kind of like, you know what? This video is great. And just randomly it's like freaking hardcore sport, and you're like, I don't know how to recreate that. And they're like, more! You just kind of low-key panic. And so, it's wild, doing YouTube stuff, because, yeah, you can have, like, the best year ever, and have no idea why. It's always hard to work with a little bit. It's not so bad, but, you know. But it does pay decently well, once you, like, get up in there. Pays better than my last art job. So I'll always be, like, kinda thankful for that one. Can I get the slimy pickaxe? Yeah, I can. That's isn't that most bosses. I had a decent boss at the last place I worked. They just didn't like anything I did. I knew where I stood, and it was on thin ice. But that was kind of one of those jobs where it was I should not have started there as soon as I did. I think I needed more time to, like, get my feet under me. And by the time I finally I started my job while I was actually still working at the studio. Or, no, I started my job while I was still at school. And so I more or less, like, my first week was the week or two before midterms. And I had to pull, like, a 60-hour week and stuff like that. And so by the time I finally actually graduated, I was actually kind of checked out from the job already. Which is not a good feeling, actually. So, Wonder, would you like to give a giveaway in this stream? You have a key for Dungeons 3. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna play Dungeons 3 in a couple of days. Why don't we actually do it then if you want to throw me the key? Cause yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a giveaway of sorts, but I might as well do it while I'm actually playing said game. Cause yeah, I think I have a spare copy or two of that as well. So I might as well hand that out. I'm not very good at giveaways. I don't really like doing them. They feel weird. But yeah, I could give it away. Okay, so that extra inventory space is going to help a lot. Okay. I guess I could just kind of consume that, I could consume that fairy, but I might as well wait until I take damage, because yeah, I have no means of healing myself. And I don't want to heal myself until I actually need it. Or, I don't want to waste the fairies until I need it, just in case we run into the bulls too early. Man, this really is a slow resource spawn. I guess we could... I don't want to... How long have I been going for? Just about the same amount of time. Hi, Shell. How's it going? Very soon. Shell wants to play Mario Party. So run the giveaway when I play Dungeons 3? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do we go for the boots? We don't have any leather, though. I could go for the forages for extra... the forages for extra money. Okay, so the resources are still spawning, just very sluggishly. Because if I could melt the gold down without coal... wouldn't be so bad. I just mainly want to make sure that the resources aren't going to just totally stop on me. It looks like they're still coming, just very slowly. Okay. And thank you for the extra 100-bit tutorial. It's been a very, very slow arms race up to who gets to be second place for bit leader this week, and it's kind of fun to watch. Alright, because yeah, if we can get that jewelry level up next, that'd be nice.